While nearly all the Palestinians displaced in Gaza are lost, where to settle or seek shelter from the bombing and fighting, Jews living near the Lebanon border fear going back to their homes and have opted to extend their 2-month stay in hotels, shelters, and safe havens indefinitely. As VOA's Linda Gradstein reports.
Some of the about 200,000 Israelis evacuated from communities near the borders with Gaza and Lebanon have nowhere to return to after their homes were bombed or burned by Hamas militants on October 7th. In the meantime, all of the evacuees have been living in limbo in hotels and guest houses all over Israel, including the Ya'arim Hotel at Ma'aleh HaChamisha outside of Jerusalem. They say they don't know when or if they will feel safe enough to return.
We don't have any place to go back to now. First of all, it's a closed military area, and nobody can promise me that they won't breach the border again. In our case, they came on hang gliders by air, but nobody can promise us that won't happen again either.
Many fled their homes immediately after the Hamas attack with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Volunteers mobilized to collect and distribute thousands of cartons of clothing, toys, and household items for the evacuee centers. This hotel provides room and 3 meals a day, as well as health services and recreational activities. Children have been integrated into local schools, and a nursery school has been opened inside the hotel. One of the teachers says the children seem calmer and happier now, 2 months after the October 7th attack.
In the beginning, they were very frightened. Any loud noise would scare them. There's a house here that was built by a volunteer that came, and many of the kids would crawl into it and find a safe haven for themselves. And they would close the windows and the doors. They would put blankets over the windows so that the baddies wouldn't be able to come in and find them.
About 400 of the original 550 evacuees from 2 Gaza border communities remain at the Ma'aleh HaChamisha hotel. Some have found alternative housing, either renting apartments or moving in with relatives. They say that families living long-term in small hotel rooms is challenging, especially for those already coping with trauma and stress.
ומגיעים לכאן ילדים, משפחות, אבות, אימהות, שהם לא פוסט-טראומטיים, הם עדיין טראומטיים.
Coming here are children, fathers, and mothers who are not experiencing post-trauma, but are still feeling trauma itself. When there was a missile alert, which doesn't happen here often, the reaction was so different than the long-time residents here. There is trauma, it exists, and they are living it.
More than 1 million Palestinians in Gaza have also been displaced by the fighting, which has destroyed their homes. More than 80% of Gaza's population of 2.3 million is now crowded into the southern Gaza Strip, where they are living in United Nations schools and facilities. The Israeli evacuees say they are anxious to move back home, even though they recognize that it may take a long time, if ever, to feel safe in their homes again. Linda Gradstein, VOA News, Ma'aleh HaChamisha, Israel.